we're either gonna wind up with food for us in the freezer or food for the chickens in the freezer. Ready for breakfast, huh?
A nice looking sunrise.
Good morning, beautiful people. Today's the day. It's always an exciting day. One of the funnest things I have experienced since moving out here to North Carolina is learning how to butcher animals, especially like pigs. There's something so, I don't know, it's just cool being able to harvest your own food and put food on the table, food in the freezer, food in the larder. It's very satisfying. All right, I'm gonna break the silence out here and get this loud burner burning, get this water hot. As we get through this, as soon as we get started, I probably won't do a whole lot of filming or talking just because I'll be elbow deep in a pig. So I'll do my best. Meg said she's gonna try to do some filming. I'll try to have the boys film, but it's just one pig, so there's not really any rush. Basically, scalding, scraping, we'll eviscerate, get it cut in two so we can actually move it, because that's gonna be a heavy pig. And then I'm gonna stick it in the freezer while the high of the day is still a little bit warm, and then as soon as it cools off for the night and there's no chance of bugs or anything, I'm gonna pull it out, I'm gonna hang it. I can hang it from the crane. We did that at hand hewn. It was, it was below freezing. We just let it hang all night, and the airflow is really what helps dry everything out and make for a nice day the next day cutting. So I'm gonna go finish coffee. All right, everything is ready. About 8:30. It took an hour and 15 minutes to go from whatever temperature it got to last night. That much water, that's a lot of thermal mass. I'm currently taking the garbage out. I stopped it was at 158 or something like that. I'm aiming for between 150 and 160. Any hotter than that, and it's not a good scald. It's too hot. That's when you actually start cooking the skin rather than causing the hair follicles to let go. So there is a sweet spot, and we've done it too cold and we've done it too hot. In fact, there's one we did, and I had the water at probably 180. 190, and what happens is the skin closes up on the hair follicles and you can't scrape. And so that was one I ended up having to skin. That was 2 years ago. If your scald goes wrong, you can always skin the pig. Skinning a pig is a lot harder than skinning any other animal because they don't have a hide like a deer or a sheep or something like that. It's skin, so it's a lot harder to cut off. All right, I'm gonna put this trash in there and go over here and talk about the pig real quick. All right, so something I am going to address because I know the subject will come up. People who do process animals are going to notice. If you aren't aware of harvesting animals and things like that, there's something that is a subject of concern. When we were talking to Hand Hewn last at the beginning of the year when they were here, we said, hey, we'd like to have you guys back out to do lamb chop. And they're like, all right. And we started talking. We're like, well, here's the situation. We got them as a breeding pair. They won't breed. There's a lot of different things that we've heard. We might need another female. So Bubbles thinks he has like a flock to be in charge of. But we've also heard if two pigs are raised from a very young age, they will view each other as siblings. They won't do the job that we want them to, which, all right, that's fine. That is what it is. We didn't know. But we always intended if it didn't work out, we could eat them, which that's what we're gonna do. So lamb chop, no big deal. Bubbles, on the other hand, he is an intact boar. He has not been castrated. He has all his equipment. A lot of people claim that there's a thing called boar taint. What that is all of the hormones and all the things that make a boar aggressive, which in his case, he's very aggressive. That pig is not safe for anybody to be around. The last few times I got in that pen with him and he wasn't occupied with the feed situation, he bit me. and he's got a really big mouth. So it's just one of those situations. It's like, all right, not safe to be around. Anyways, back to the boar taint issue. Supposedly, all of the hormones and everything will flavor the meat. I've heard both ways. I've heard that yes, that's true, and I've heard no, that's a myth. When the hand-hewn guys were here, we asked them, we said, what do we do about bubbles? Are we just gonna like dig a hole? What are we gonna do? And they said, the only time you wouldn't wanna eat a boar is when he's around females that are in heat, because when the females are in heat, that drives the boar crazy. His hormones are gonna be through the roof. And yes, that can taint the meat. They said just wait until the female's no longer in heat and they calm down, which a week and a half ago, that was kind of the situation. Well, we've timed it right. Today is the day, obviously. And they said, okay, what you do is go through the motions like you're going to harvest anyways. If you're no longer going to deal with this animal, then you're gonna do one of two things. You're either going to harvest the animal and put it in the freezer, or you're going to just go through the motions, kill the animal, and bury it. Well, we're not about to bury 2.5 years worth of work. So what we will do, what they told us, they said when you get into it and you're, the step right before you go to hang the pork, take a skirt steak, take a hanger steak, take the sweet meat, take a piece of meat from, the most easily accessible piece of meat, throw it in a frying pan, and you'll know right then. Eat it right then. That way you know. So that's what we're gonna do today. We are going to go through the motions. As soon as I get to the point where I can cut off a piece of meat and hand it off to Meg to season up and cook in a pan, if there's any off flavor and we can't eat it, then it's time for plan B. So what we'll do is we'll just process anyways, even if we don't intend to eat because of off flavors, and then we can feed it as chicken feed. So it's kind of an expensive chicken feed, but it's better than just digging a hole and burying the thing. So, little transparency. I thought I would share that just so everybody's aware of our situation, because I know there's going to be people out there in our exact situation. Now everybody's up to speed. We're all on the same page. We're either going to wind up with food for us in the freezer or food for the chickens in the freezer. All right, I'm going to go eat breakfast, then we're going to get down here and get busy. All right, it looks like you got a whole bunch of food ready to go. Mm-hmm. You intend on being out here with us?
I would like to, yes.
All right, so breakfast is ready. What'd you make?
Just quiche.
Just quiche, all right. Let's eat and get started. We got 30 minutes.
All right.
This is a guy too.
That's a guy? Yeah, what's that a picture of? What's that?
What?
That's a horse, that's right. All right, we are getting ready. I'm gonna put the hoist up. One of the nice things about this is until you have made a cut, the timer has not started. Pigs are not like a ruminid where as soon as they stop breathing, they start decomposing. Pigs, you really there's no need to panic. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Learning that really took a lot of stress off. Take your time, place good shot, stick it, all that. Take your time, don't panic. Really remaining calm and cool through it is the best thing. I've done this to where it's chaotic and stressful, and it's not very fun. So, all right, I'm gonna get the crane, the hoist up, and we're starting to bring all of our stuff down here we're gonna need. I should probably get the tractor warmed up too. That's how I'm picking him up out of the pen. Oh!
53.
353? 353 is a
Good night.
Yeah, he's not
gonna fit. All right, well then we'll set him down and I'll use the tractor.
Okay. piece to try.
That is our piece to try. There's some silver skin,
Okay.
but we have paper towels in there. We can pull that off.
Yep.
All right, so basically we are at the end. This is the decision making time.
Yeah.
We grabbed some hanger steak, some skirt steak. We're gonna cook it. Just a light season, salt, pepper, garlic. Very much to my surprise, that pig does not stink whatsoever.
No, this doesn't smell.
This doesn't smell. We're cutting pork tomorrow, and that was a 350-pound pig we get put in the freezer.
That's a lot.
And we got another one in a month and a half.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So much for an extra freezer.
We'll see. We'll see. I'm still holding out.
That smells amazing.
It does. It smells really good. No weird smells?
Smells like steak.
Smells like steak.
Oh, you brought a cutting board. Almost like you knew you were going to be cutting up some meat.
Oh, I'm so nervous. Please don't.
Please don't be terrible.
Please don't be terrible.
I don't want to waste a whole pig.
You ready? Jason, you want in on this? Oh, you're fine.
Tastes fine.
Does it taste rich?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't taste nothing.
Mm-mm.
It tastes like steak. Like it tastes really good.
It tastes beefy.
Uh-huh.
Like, I've never seen pork this dark. This pork is like dark red.
Dude! That's an intact boar.
Yeah.
That doesn't taste bad at all.
No.
Wow. Alright. Now high five. Woo!
All right, let's get it in the freezer.
Okay. Jason, yours is off. You want it up over your shoulder?
Yeah, can you do that?
There you go.
All right.
There you go. Okay. Goodness. Wow. Well, at least it fits in the freezer.
Lunch.
Woo!
Good job.
All right, we're in the house. I am not showered yet, but that will come after we eat.
Yes.
All right, figured I'd show all the fixins. Got some chicken. Got the taters. Those look amazing. And some baked beans.
Yep.
And some roes. All right. So Jason had to take off. They have some stuff they're doing, and didn't want to stay for lunch, so it's all right.
And now we got extra food, so I don't have to cook dinner.
All right. All right. Lunch was good. I feel a lot better after eating. It's nice. Like it's 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
I mean, it took a little bit longer than I was hoping,
Okay.
but it was me, Jason, Brett, and Corbin.
Yep.
And Brett and Corbin are some scraping fools.
They are.
They were really, really much a help.
Yeah.
So that answers a question. Yeah, you can eat an intact boar.
Yeah.
Now, there is something I will say. In reading various things about the subject of can you eat an intact boar, Americans are really the only culture anywhere that only eat castrated male animals. Doesn't bother the rest of the world, but it bothers us.
Well, and I think it really just does, like we've seen, it does depend on when you're butchering that animal.
Yeah, like a week ago was not the time to butcher that animal. I guess it comes down to know your animals. I know when the female pigs come into heat because it's pretty obvious. And then you watch the boars, they're slobbering and they're
Gross.
They're just doing boar things. I mean, that's what they're supposed to do.
Right.
Last week was not the week to do a boar.
Right.
So.
And we actually, that's why we chose this week, because we were like, oh, okay, she's in heat right now. He's doing his boar thing. We need to wait for that cycle. And seems to be good.
Now, something that we did discover getting into him, Mangalitses are, honestly, they're a designer pig. They have very dark red marbled meat. You guys will see it. We're going to film tomorrow when we're piecing everything out. It doesn't even taste like pork.
No.
I think that was what surprised us. We cooked that skirt steak. It tasted like beef.
Yeah, like red meat.
Like Jason walked in. I was like, hey, come smell this. See if you smell anything off. And he walked in and he goes, smells like steak.
Yeah.
I was afraid because there are times when bubbles is going off because of lamb chop being in heat. And you can smell it. Like, it's a terrible stink. It smells like an old gym sock. Like, it's just a gross smell.
It is.
but none of that is present.
Yeah.
So
Very impressed.
we're happy. I want to say a huge thank you to Jason.
Yeah.
Jason came by and helped out. Huge help.
Yeah.
That was cool. All right. So everybody's favorite part, cleanup.
Yeah.
We actually had wrapped up the video and it was like, well, you know what? There's stuff that we wanted to talk about that we didn't talk about. Everything went great.
It did.
This was excellent. I think the only thing is I had shut the water off too early and the scald, it was kind of cold.
Cooled off, yeah.
I had to turn the water back on and heat it back up,
Right.
but once it was back up to temperature, it was no problem.
Cool.
155 to 160, that's like,
Yeah.
that's the sweet spot.
Yep.
All right, so one of the things we did want to talk about is something that's coming up next year. In March, in the coming year, we are teaming up with Josh and Megan. They're the ones who put on the Farm Where You Live Festival, and I'm going to be teaching a class on how to do what we're doing today
Right.
and tomorrow. It will be the from the shot all the way till it's ready for the freezer.
Yeah.
It will be the cut up, the packaging, the whole thing. And it'll be in a one day class.
Right. And I will actually be teaching
Yes, like you are actually,
cooking. We're going to try to do, we haven't finalized exactly what we're going to be going through, but probably like some pressure canning of pork and rendering lard and
all of the
like,
stuff that
all of
honestly
the-
goes with it.
Right.
So let's move out of the sun. I can't see. I'm excited. They asked if I wanted to teach a class. I was like, I suppose I could.
And Bubbles was what, number 30?
Yeah, since we've got out here to North Carolina and we've started doing this, I have done a bunch of pigs. And, you know, the saying, the best teacher is a student, that's kind of where I'm at with it. I'm at a place where as I have learned the stuff, the early questions that you get, I feel like I could answer.
Yeah.
So it's like, sure, I'm learning it and now I can pass it on.
Yeah.
So if anybody's interested, it won't necessarily be a hands-on class.
I had asked them and they said, liability could be an issue.
But
so
if you want to come and stand as close as possible so you can see how to do it for
Right.
yourself,
ask all the questions.
Yep. then you can come watch over my shoulder and I'll show you how to do it. Coming out here, the friends that we've made, that's really been how I've learned, is just by getting in there and standing right over someone's shoulder watching and finally being able to do it myself. It's like, cool.
Yeah.
This is awesome. Empowering people to do it themselves. We're all about that. People let us watch and now we can give back a little bit. So if you guys are interested, it's March 4th
Yep.
next year. We'll leave a link down below.
Yeah. It's down in South Carolina.
Yeah, it's in Greer, South Carolina. So if you're within driving distance or you're cool with making a trip, spots are kind of limited, but it is going to be a pretty big class. I think they have, 30 spots?
30 spots, yeah.
It's going to be cool.
It will.
So I hope you guys...
Sorry, that cat's going to jump on you. She's just like,
Are you trying to reach me?
come in.
I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you might have learned something. And if you didn't, then you can come to a class and learn something.
See, there you go.
So I'm going to clean up down here and finish out the day. And we will catch you guys on the next one.
Bye.